Okay, we're going to do the data analyst form for tier 2. First, I'm going to go through the directions and I'm going to show you how to do it. So note, whenever SECO is mentioned, breaks or better is included in that title. Just for the sake of brevity, I only mention SECO. You'll do a drill down in SECO Swiss to complete this form. The form should be duplicated each month so the data can be updated while not having to retype the student names. The information from this form will be used to pre-populate the TIPS form for each meeting. So in SECO Swiss, you're going to view reports. This is the school-wide report, and this is the data table that you're going to use to help you fill in the information in the form. So you're going to need the date range, the possible data days, and the range of students in SECO. So for the date range, you're going to use the dates from the data table to put the first and last date of the graph. So for this one, it was April 26th to May 24th. Possible data days, count the number of days that say school in the data table. So you'll just count these here and put that as possible data days. If it says school out, you won't include that one. Range of students in SECO. Click on the header, students contributing, to put the lowest number to highest. Expert hack. Click on the drop-down arrow next to that header to choose sort ascending, and we're going to do that in a second. So students contributing, I had already sorted ascending here. Actually, this is descending. So I had 23 students. No, I didn't sort it. Okay, I'll show you how to sort it. Anyway, so you'll put the range of students in SECO. Okay, so then in SECO Swiss, you're going to view reports. You're going to look at average daily points by student report. So you'll get a report that looks like this. You'll also have this data table. And this is what you see in your data analyst form. So student first name and last initial. All the students on the graph should be listed on the form. New referral. Look at the number at the bottom of each green bar. That's the number of days the student has data. Any students with less than 10 days is a new referral. Students with more than 10 days is not a new referral. For students with more than 10 days, you'll complete the remaining columns. Okay, so here you can also see it in the data table too. The student has one, they'd be a new referral. New referral, new referral, new referral, and so on. Okay, days with data. Record the number of days the student has data in SECO. So that's this number up here. No, that's their average. Sorry, it's this number down here, days of data. Okay, the student goal. The student's goal should be whatever the student's current goal is. That information is on the dashboard, and you'll see it down here. So that's a separate screen you need to look at. When you go back to your report screen, you'll still have these graphs. They won't disappear. Average daily points. If you click show values on graph on the left panel, the numbers will appear on top of the bars. Otherwise, you can find that information in the data table. So what I showed you before, the average daily points, that's this. Okay, it's average daily percentage of total points is what it is. But you can also find it here in this column if you didn't do the numbers over here. Okay, so that's what you need for that part. Then, again, in SECO Swiss, you're going to go to View Reports, Individual Student Count, enter student name in the drop-down. So now the rest of this form is for students who are struggling, by the way. I forgot to read that. So if you have students that are in more than 10 days and they're not doing well, you're going to do this drill down to see where they're having difficulty. So first you're going to look at their individual student count, and you can see they're not reaching their goal at all. Okay. So view reports, individual student period, enter the student name in the drop-down. And you're going to get this period report. So individual student count graph. This graph gives you clues that perhaps the student's goal needs to be lowered. This is to be discussed in the team meeting. Find a goal where he can find some success and change his goal. Note this in other concerns. So like for this kid here, he can get 60 most of the time. He struggles with getting to 70, so maybe make his goal 65, give him some success, and then raise it up. Individual student period graph. Use this graph to complete the chart. Most success periods. List at least one period where the student is finding success. So for this student, it would be period 5 Least successful periods, list the period where the student's experiencing the most difficulty. If there's a tie for the lowest, list the periods that are tied. So he's having the most difficulty in period 1, but let's say that 2 and 3, let's say those were the lowest. You can see that they're tied, and actually period 4 is pretty close, so you could list the 3 of those if those were the lowest. Other concerns, you could drill down in some academic data if the student's struggling in math or language arts based upon their least successful period or periods. Contrast with most successful period. The student might need academic supports in addition to SECO. So then you'll list their most successful periods, least successful periods, and any other concerns. This goes into the progress monitoring part of the chart in your meeting form. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to grab the yellow form. We are going to duplicate it. Now this is the first time that we're using it, so there's no names, but the next time we use it, there will be names. So I'm going to rename, and I'm going to call this August, even though I know the data is not from August. Okay. And then I'm going to bring it over here next to my other forms so that I'm not jumping around, scrolling back and forth. And actually, I'm going to put it right next to August because that's where I'm going to be working next. All right. So I'm going to go, here I am at my school-wide report. And let's see. I want to see the data table. So this is just kind of a dashboard. So I'm going to just go up here to the SECO tab, click View Reports. I'm going to go to School-wide. This gives me, no, it doesn't. Here it is. There's the data table. It was behind it. Okay, this gives, was it there? Oh, yeah, it was there. Okay. Anyway, so you go to the data table. Now, students contributing, if you go sort ascending, okay, you have one no school day. And then you have the numbers of days in here from the least to the greatest. So the date range, oh, let me put that in order first, is 5/7 to 6/4. Okay, possible data days. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, no school, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have 20 days with possible data. And the range of students in SECO from 15 to 22. Okay, so now I want to look a little closer. So I'm going to go up to my reports and average daily points by student. Okay, so I'm going to list all of these students. I'm just going to do a few. I'm going to kind of pick and choose just for brevity's sake for the video. So I have Allison. These names, I think they put them in backwards. So Allison S. and Mark Banks and Brian Bender. You could do last name if you want. And Katie Bender. Oops. I tend to do the last names. Okay, so new referral. I want to see if any of them are less than 10 days of data. So Mark Banks is a new referral. And Katie is still a new referral. Okay, so I'm going to put their names into my new referral form. So Katie B and what did I say? Mark Banks. Mark B. Okay. And then I'll fill out the rest of the information. I just covered over the demo information I did earlier. That should have been blank. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to, so Brian Bender is not new and Allison S is not new. I want to grab another one that's doing well. So let's pull David Anderson. Okay, so not a new referral. So for not new referrals, we're going to complete the remaining columns. So Allison's days of data are 20. It's in the second column. Mark Banks, he's new. I just want the ones that are not new. Brian Bender, 18. And David A. Remember, I would normally do the entire list. 12. Oops. And these students would have been carried over probably from last month as well. Okay, so what is their goal? So I want to know that. So I'm going to go to Seco. Here's the students. And Allison her goal is 70 right now. And Brian Bender, his goal is 80. And David A, his goal is 70. Oops. Okay, now let's go back to their reports. And we want to know, we want to look at that average daily points again. Oh, it's still here. Okay, average daily points. So the average daily points, this gets weird because I have it shortened. You'd be able to see the whole thing if it was full screen. So for Allison, now I forgot to click show values on the graph. So I can regenerate it, or I can just look at the data table. Let's look at the data table, it'll be easier. Allison S, average daily points 74%. And Brian Bender, his average daily points 62. Oh, hers is 75. Brian Bender is 62. Yeah. And David A is 88. Okay, so let's look at them by period. Now the ones I'm really concerned about Brian because he's been in, oops, I put on the wrong day. What did I do? Oh, these are in the wrong rows. 18, 80. If you want to shade those ones that you're not using this time, you can. Just to keep things in order, but anyway. Okay, so Brian's been in 18 days and he's still at 62% on average. She seems to be making progress, so she's probably fine, but we'll take a look anyway. This kid's doing great, so I'm not so much worried about him. So let's look at Allison's period report. I'm going to go to reports, student period. Oh, let's do individual count first. Individual student count. So we'll go to Allison. Yeah, she's doing well most days. And all we have to do to look at Brian is to just change the name. See, and he's tanking most days. Okay, so let's go to the next 1 for student period. And we're going to do Allison S. This also tells you what her current goal is. Okay, she's doing really well in all of them. So she may just need her percentage raised again. So let's do for Allison, other concerns, raise goal. Goal to 80%. Not really concerned, but it's a suggestion. Okay, let's look at poor Brian Bender. I use him in all my trainings. Okay. Yeah, so he's really struggling in period 1. So his least successful period is 1. His most successful period is period 5. Do you want to include 6? Do you want to include the other ones? That's up to you. Okay. So then one of the things we might consider, because this goal appears to be too high. So if we look back here, no, where'd it go? Student count. We may need to lower his goal. This purple line means there was a plan change, but don't worry about that right now. So let's suggest making his goal 65%. Okay. Lower goal to 65%. Find out if he needs additional supports in period 1. Like, he might not be doing well in period 1 because maybe he's coming to school late and he hasn't had breakfast. Maybe this is language arts. Maybe this is PE and he's an athlete. But find out what those issues are. If he can't read and he's doing language arts, there's your issue right there. So he may need some additional academic supports to help his behavior to be better. Okay, so then you're going to take this information and you're going to transfer it to your meeting form. Oops, nope, right here. Okay. So, oh, we didn't do this. We didn't do the summary. So we have students in SECO 15 to 22. Let's say that there's 600 students in the school. So I'm going to do 22 divided by 600. So my current percentage of well, this doesn't include, let's say I've got, let me change this. Let's say I've got 20 kids in small group counseling plus the 22 in here. So let's call it 44 divided by 600 students in our school. And we're at 7%. So we're going to put that in here. Okay. And then numbers of students with less than 10 days of data. So we're going to use, we would normally have it listed on that form, but I didn't do all of them. So let's just go back here to our school-wide report. And nope, average daily points. Here we go. Go to the graph, days of data, sort them ascending. So students with less than 10 days, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 students. So that's going to go here. And students with more than 10 days is going to be 22 minus 8, which is, what's that, 14? Okay, so there, that's all recorded now for to complete that part of the TFI that we're tracking that. Okay, so now we are going to take this data from over here and it's going to go, we already put in the new referrals, so now we're going to do the other students. So progress monitoring on Allison S. This is hard. Let me do it this way. Open it up. There we go. Pretend this is a new form. Alice. Oops. Alice. Allison S. Okay, her implementation status. She is fully implemented. Her total days of intervention. That's days with data. That's 20. Oops. Wrong tab. 20 days. Number of days, 80% or above. I need to go back and look at my chart. So, let's look at individual student count. Okay, student count. I'm going to look at Allison. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 days above 80%. Okay, effectiveness. Looks like it's being effective because she's making progress toward her goal. So we would say progressing. Next steps would be continue intervention, or maybe, we need to raise her goal. Has the data been updated? If not, when? And notes. Raise goal to 80%. Then consider fading. So she'll stay on this list until she's done, until she's ready to fade. Okay, the next kid on our list is Brian Bender. He's fully implemented. Total days of intervention, he has 18. Days above 80%. We're going to look back at his points here. He has 2. So effectiveness of the solution. No real change. Intensify supports. And then you would put the SST data being updated here. Lower goal to 65%. See if he needs additional support for period 1. Sorry. So there we go. Then the last kid was David. Okay, so he has 12 days with data, 88 average. So David A. David A. He's fully implemented. His days with intervention, we said, were 12. Days above 80%. Back over here. He has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like all of his days are above 80%. Maybe that's all he needed, was just to be on seek or breaks or better to solve his problem. Effectiveness of solution. The goal's actually met. So, because he's over 80% like every single day. So next steps, we could say ready for fading. And then you would do the SST data. Then raise goal to 80% and begin fading. So then on the next meeting, he's going to move down to the fading portion. So when you make that, when you duplicate and you call this one September, you're going to go down here. Now you see the data's all in here, but we want him to be down here. So David A, what intervention was he in? We'll pretend it's SECO just to make it easy. He's going to be fading. How will the intervention be faded? We're going to reduce his number of check-ins during the day. His expected graduation date, we'll give him 2 weeks from today, pretending that we're still in school then. What would that be? The 18th. And who's going to manage it? When will the intervention begin fading or being exited? Data updates for the SST, any notes if needed. And that's how you do it for the following month. And you take him off of here.
You just put us in full lockdown, so either we go back or they're archiving us down. Yeah.
Oh, we're in full lockdown?
Yeah, I'll go back. I'll send it to you. And then I'll keep you.
Okay, in order to get rid of this for the next student, nope, that didn't work either. I think you click away. Yeah, click. There we go. So you're going to open this up, delete what's in this box, then click to an empty box. And that's how you do it.